A letter to 2023. 2023 was the year I turned 25, the year I ran a horribly difficult 100-miler, the year I got engaged and then eloped, the year I started my dream program at my dream grad school. On paper, 2023 would appear to be a year where everything went right for me. But beneath the superficials, I felt just as confused and lost this year as any year prior in my 20s. I am starting to believe that although being in your mid-20s is difficult, it turns out just being a human being is difficult in itself. I feel like every year as more and more time goes on, I feel a bit more settled in my skin until this year. This year felt like the exception to that rule for me. I will be fully transparent. There have been a lot of things that have felt difficult this year for me. I have felt a lot of self-criticism. I think part of growing up in the spotlight, part of growing up as an influencer with a large following on social media, I find myself mentally preparing for the things that others will say about things that I haven't even finished creating yet. So I'm prejudging myself before I've even completed a project, which is not a recipe for free creativity. This is my attempt at creating something that feels vulnerable and free and honest and just put it out into the world no matter what kind of reception it gets. 2023 has also been a year in which I'm growing. That's undeniable. But a lot of times growth has felt almost backwards. It feels like I'm taking 2 steps backwards to go 1 step forward. I have found myself feeling so vulnerable, so sensitive, and instead of returning to openness, I feel like I've kind of sheltered myself. I've cut myself off from my usual forms of creativity, my usual forms of openness, my usual forms of sharing, and this year I want to come back to finding that. I want to feel comfortable being uncomfortable, being vulnerable on the internet with friends, with people, in my relationships, with my family, all of it. And this leads me to my final point of the things that have felt very difficult about 2023. I have spent a lot of time questioning my value system and my internal belief system. Specifically, what things do I find very important in my career, in my friendships, in my personal growth, in my life, in my partner. I have just found myself questioning a lot of my belief systems and honestly how they're holding me back. And it feels like this upcoming year is a good opportunity to challenge those. If you have not guessed already, in so many ways this year, I have failed. I feel like I've failed. I was a less than perfect daughter, sister, friend, wife, student, creator, human being, and beyond all of this emotional, mental turmoil that I have felt, I had a very brutal day last July where I spent 36 hours, 43 minutes, and 46 seconds running 100 miles. The hardest 100 miles I have ever faced. I fought through physical, mental, and emotional adversity to claw myself across the finish line of a race that absolutely sought to remove me from the planet. I held negative splits on a 100-mile race while battling eviscerated feet, kidneys that were threatening to quit, and everything else that could go wrong, going very, very wrong. It was the lowest day of the year, but in a way it was also the highest. I feel like I battled so many things and really put my mettle to the test. As corny as it may sound, I truly discovered what I'm made of, and I am very grateful for that opportunity. And I have so much to be grateful for this year. I moved back to a place that welcomed me with open arms and an incredible community. I returned to Colorado after 2 years in California, a brief hiatus living in a Prius, and a couple of months in North Carolina. I finally, for the first time in a very long time, feel at home in a place. This was also the year in which I discovered that home could be with a person. So Max and I had a beautiful elopement in Southwest Colorado, and we celebrated with our closest friends and family. This was also the first full year of being together. We got engaged, we moved across the country, we lived in a truck camper together for a month, we created a new home a couple times, and we went on a honeymoon in South America. It was a really beautiful year of we. And as much as I have felt like a stranger in my own skin sometimes, I have also been driven by a really strong sense of alignment. I always knew I would be back in Colorado, even when the path to get back wasn't very clear. Every day that I lived in California reminded me that although I love the ocean and the sunshine, my heart was back in the Rocky Mountains. Strangely enough, I also knew that I was meant back in engineering, even while in the midst of quitting my engineering job to be a content creator. Choosing a lab in my graduate program felt like coming into total agreement with my wildest scientific interests, like beyond my wildest dreams. I am studying the things that I'm studying. So let this be a lesson to all. Even a step that seems backward can lead you down the correct path. Even now, as I reflect on 2023, despite all of the good, all of the great things that have happened, it feels as though I didn't accomplish much, and that is a curse of mine. I feel like I always have to be accomplishing something. However, I have really high hopes for 2024. For me, this is a year of self-care, growth, and positivity. This is the year that I care for my body in a way that I have not before. This is the year I take care of myself first. I choose to disregard baseless judgment, and I will assert my peace over all else. I choose to protect my boundaries. This is the year that I create without imagined criticism and let being bad at something be okay for the first time. Just be a beginner and create messy art and let it be. And the beginning of my new year granted me a blessing in disguise. It is rare to be gifted a do-over, as I have been. 3 weeks ago, my name was drawn for the 2024 High Lonesome Lottery. Again. Also known as the race that tried to take me off the earth. It feels so silly to say I've been dreaming of this upcoming race, but I have. I have had dreams crossing the finish line. I have had dreams of running and feeling as though I am floating. I am spending time preparing and thinking about the mistakes I made last year and how I can do it better. And in a way, it feels like getting to do 2023 over again. But I'm not sure I want that. I just want to move forward and let it be 2024, baby. If you've enjoyed this video, please like the video, it helps a lot. Comment on the video if there's something you find relatable, and feel free to subscribe to this channel. This is my 2024 plan. This is the 2024 goal. I have been saying for years now that I want to crack into YouTube and I want to be more consistent on YouTube. So this is the first video. I want to make videos every week. We will see how it goes when I have finals and midterms, but that is my plan. So thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.